we are ready to party. We have our budget worksheet from Vertex 42 you can get for completely free. We have our budget calendar that we set up previously. I think I posted that video on Monday, and this came from the Budget Moms. It's just a printable from her. And then we have our monthly paycheck month, well, 2 paycheck month, budget. So let us get into the paycheck budget. And never mind, there are some little chip crumbs I was just eating. I was just snacking, don't judge me. Okay, so this paycheck starts February 21st and it goes through March 6th. This is our first paycheck of March because for us, the first paycheck of the month contains the first, because that's when most of our bills come out. So we're going to start with inflow. So his inflow, her inflow. And I have these little post-its because we don't share bank accounts. Myself and Win. I didn't introduce myself. Hi, I'm Bo. Win is doing his grading at the moment. He is a substitute teacher. So he is grading and working, and I am budgeting. But we did talk about all this beforehand, so it's not like I'm doing this behind his back or like gonna surprise him with the budget. It's not like that. But let us get started. So his inflow is going to be, his paycheck will be the January 10th paycheck, because he is currently a month ahead. So January 10th paycheck for $17.89. And because March 3rd is when the interest income comes in, that is going to be included as well. So we're going to use last month's, or February's. So February 3rd interest income is $44 for Win. And then for me, I'm going to be using my January 30th paycheck because I am not ahead. January 30 paycheck for $15.90, and my February 13th paycheck for $15.10. Because I want to kickstart the moving fund, because we're trying to buy a house. I really want to have as much saved as possible, as early as possible, so that if we have additional expenses, those can be cash flowed instead of like trying to scramble or dip into the emergency fund for that. So that is that. And then also we're going to use my January 23rd savings account interest, and that is $87. So let's add up our math separately here. We have $17.89 plus 44 for Win is $18.33. And then mine is $15.90 plus $15.10 plus 87, $31.87. Okay. So that is our like pay. Excuse me. Okay, so his paycheck is going to be his paycheck is $17.89. My paycheck is $3,100. And then other income is actually 87 plus 44. So 87 plus 44, because that's both of our savings account interest, so that's 131. And then from savings, and yes, I know this math does not add up the same, but I'll explain in a moment. And then from savings, what's going to end up happening is, so car insurance car insurance is due on the 8th. That is when the auto pay goes through. However, I have American Family Insurance, and the way they have their billing set up is I get a discount for having auto pay coming out of my checking account. However, if I pay early, I can pay with a credit card and I'll still get that discount, but also I'll get my cash back on my credit card. So I actually want to pay this early. I want to pay it in this first paycheck, even though if I happen to forget to pay early, which is technically possible, then it'll still come out automatically on the 8th. So we're going to put car insurance on this first paycheck. So car insurance, and that's $18.68. Of course, last time I checked my renter's insurance, they actually changed the amount by the time I paid it. So y'all, I don't know. This is estimating, even though I saw the bill. You never know. You never know what could happen, but no matter how much it is, it'll be saved. So that's fine. Okay, so $18.68, because that is how much is coming out of savings, we're going to put this in the from savings category. So $18.68. So now let's see what all our inflow is. So $17.89 plus $3,100 plus $131 plus $18.68 is $68.88. And we are not investing. That's not where we are right now in our journey, but let's get down to his spending. Now, this is going to be a little snug here. It's going to be a little snug. Okay, so what do we have due here? We have, in this time period, for rent, of course, rent is coming out on the 1st, so $13.50. And then for kid bills, we have 2 kid copays here, and then we have kid insurance. So that is $183. Now, this may be lower depending on how many times the kids go to therapy, because that's what the copays are. And then we also have in this pay period the electric bill. Electric bill is $149. And then we also have internet. Internet is $71. And then we have adventures at $20 and miscellaneous at $50. So let's see what that all adds up to. We have $13.50 plus $183 plus $71 plus $149 plus $20 plus, that's $18.23. And look how much his personal inflow is, $18.33. Y'all, we cut it so close. We cut it so close. So $18.23, that means because his total inflow is $18.33, he has $10 to save. Sometimes the struggle's real, but all you can do is go with your highest priority, and his highest priority is our wedding right now. So $10 to the wedding fund. Struggle's real, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, now for my spending. My monthly bills are Netflix, YouTube, and Fabulous for this go round, this pay period. So that is $45. And then his debt is not getting anything right now because we're saving up to move. Dining out is $30. Groceries in bulk is $260. Transportation, let me double check, is $60. Health is $80. Home shopping is 30. Birthdays is 50. Oh no. That's going to be the whole 30 actually. Because the birthday that's coming up is actually March 3rd. So the whole birthday amount here, so 30. And then clothing and shoes, 50. And I'm just taking these numbers from the monthly budget from yesterday. And then pet care is 15. So most of these numbers are just half of what we have for the month, but because of the timing of the birthday, want to bring that whole amount in. And then personal and alphabet, 100. So let's see how much that all adds up to. We have 45 plus 30 plus 260 plus 60 plus 80 plus 30 plus 30 plus 50 plus 15 plus 100. 700 exactly. Look at that. Okay, so 700. And then my inflow is 3187. So 3187 minus 700 is 2487. So that's how much is being saved on my side. Okay. So 2487. Now, what are my priorities here? My priorities are Christmas. I was always going to get the amount of money that I pulled cards for, because I just do a savings challenge that is playing cards. And then next priority is moving fund, so it's 2. And then insurance is 3. So out of this 2487, so 2487 minus 95, because we're just always going to do the highest number for Christmas just every time, because we never know what cards are going to get pulled. So it's 95 for Christmas, and then so that's 2392. And moving fund is for the month. For the month, the budget is 2842, which is more than 2392. So all of that is going to go to moving fund. So 2392. Look at that. And then add 95, and you get 2487. Fantastic. Okay. Now that we have all the numbers, let's double check that they're all correct, that the math adds up. Okay, so good grief. 1789 plus 3100 plus 131 plus 1868 does equal 6888. And then subtract 1823 and you get 5065. And then you subtract 10, you get 5055. And then you subtract 700, and you get 4355. And then you subtract 2487, and you get 1868. $1868 minus 1868. Look at that, zero-based budget, which of course means every dollar has a place to go. Not that our bank accounts are at zero, because we round down our paychecks and round up our expenses. So little bits of change add up over time. It's very good stuff. But look at that, the maths. We are saving a very different amount of money, but that is okay because the way we budget is very flexible. That's why we like it, because with being ahead, like technically he could have brought in a different paycheck. He could have budgeted, let's see, what other paychecks do we have here? So he has a paycheck for 1993 that he didn't use. He could have used that this time and then had a bunch of money to save, but then there's a possibility that for the first paycheck of April, he wouldn't have a paycheck that was big enough to cover all the bills for the first paycheck. That's the tricky part, because the first paycheck of the month is always the paycheck with the most bills, we want to use the bigger paycheck for that. And because he doesn't get paid for days that school isn't in session, his paychecks can vary wildly. So we always want to save a bigger paycheck for the pay period that covers the big bills. So like hardly anything is going to come out of the next paycheck, and that is the way we like it. It works out very well. We were struggling before when Win wasn't ahead. We were really struggling to get like everything paid with just his paycheck. And this way works out really well. It does mean more math. And technically, if you go with the budget mom's method, for example, the budget mom, which is where I have some of my sheets are printables from her. Every like bank account should have like its own transactions and its own like budget, but that is way more work to me. I'd rather do a little more math to make sure it adds up on both sides versus have completely separate budgets and completely separate trackers. I really like having everything on one calendar, and then we can see everything that we're spending and everything that's coming out instead of having to flip back and forth to see. Like, even though these things are coming out of different bank accounts, I like that it's kind of a bird's eye view into what like we as a household are spending. We do differentiate which bank accounts things come from. That's why these are different colors. So pink is my spending. This lighter blue is his spending. Like it makes sense. And that way we can still keep track of our accounts individually, but we can see the household as a whole. It helps a lot with the way my brain works anyway. And of course, this is not a perfect system. The math doesn't always work out. Sometimes I mess up, but for the most part, this has served us very well. And I just recently looked back at the numbers, and between between January of 2024 and January of 2025, Wynn's bank account, his savings account anyway, went from $0 to $14,000. Y'all, that doesn't happen by mistake. That doesn't happen by mistake, especially when he absolutely did not work full-time during the summer and his paychecks have varied wildly. They varied wildly, but because of this complicated but manageable way of doing things, like he can save a little bit every paycheck, and all the bills are paid, and that's really what matters. I am very excited to see what this next month and next year will have in store for us, because we are trying to buy a house, we are trying to move. It's going to be expensive, it's going to be a lot of headaches, because if nothing else, our move is gonna also coincide with the end of the school year, which means the end of Wynn's full-time income until the end of summer. So this is a lot of changes. As Stephanie from Budget for Five with Stephanie, I believe that's her page. I forget, y'all, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Y'all, it escalates quickly. This escalates quickly. But all that being said, never forget that you deserve financial stability, and I hope you have a great day on purpose. Bye.